Hello and welcome to the 12 Rings to the Files podcast. I'm your host Jacob, and I'm here with
Sean
and Harry.
And we're here once again to talk about movies and stuff. So, run if you thought this was talking about fashion or something else.
It's not hard to do a radio cooking show.
Yeah. If you're tuning in looking for recipes right now, we don't have them.
Recipes for great movies, perhaps.
Maybe.
Eh?
No.
So, what are we talking about today?
Well, that's a good question. Does anyone have anything at the top that they want to mention? Something they watched or something they saw?
I'm still a little pissed off I can't watch Boyhood for like 2 months.
Yeah, that's a little bit frustrating.
Well,
Go
ahead.
No, I have like 3 weeks to go until I can see it, probably, maybe 2.
Well, as we're talking now, I'm buying my tickets for Friday, July 18th at the Alamo. So, trick.
Well, lucky you.
I'm me. I know I'm me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
It comes out.
Now I'm gonna
hate
it.
In like August 8th in Minneapolis, which is 3 hours from me. But I'm leaving to move to Texas that day, so I can't go there. So
what city?
Where am I moving to?
Yeah, what city?
You cannot know. No one can know.
Oh.
I'm just gonna move to like Alaska or something. I don't know. Just gonna go.
Oh, okay.
No. I'll just be moving to Texas. I'll be starting school at Baylor, Waco, Texas.
Waco? That's where they filmed Tree of Life.
That's where they filmed what?
Tree of Life.
Oh, yeah.
I will recreate scenes from there. I should actually try that. But anyways, yeah, kind of pissed off about that, but on the road trip I might be able to make it. Hopefully I can find somewhere, but seem likely. And then when I'm in college I won't have a car, so I'll have to find someone to take me to Dallas. But yeah, that's my thing. Boyhood. So I've been watching some Linklater films. Finally got to watch Dazed and Confused.
What did you think of that?
Not as great as I thought everyone has been.
I had that same thing too. Everybody's like giving it five stars, and I'm just like, it's great, but I mean, I prefer the Before series.
Yeah, my Linklater is the Before series guy, and it's just, all his other films just seem so, I don't know, strange. The Before series
it's weird.
Is
I don't like entirely disagree with that. I prefer the Before series, but I think Dazed and Confused is almost as good in its own way. I think it's just a very different film.
I think I was expecting, as I expected with a lot of his films, to be more ponderous. I guess that's why I prefer Waking Life and.
But isn't it somewhat ponderous? I mean, it's not.
A little bit, but in a totally different way than the Before series or the other films I just mentioned.
Yeah, I just didn't go in expecting the Before series or anything like that. I think at the time I'd only seen Sunrise, or maybe I hadn't seen any of them. I can't remember. But anyways, I mean I expected a different film, something less realistic, maybe, but I mean it's a pretty accurate portrayal of the time period it goes for, and
it has perfect. It just feels like a perfect summer movie. Like, it's a great summer film. You know, it just doesn't fully connect with me like it has for some people. I guess it's just a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I really immediately felt that connection. I think it'll probably be even more interesting to watch now that I'm, graduating from high school and moving on like those characters are, or choosing not to move on like those characters are.
Well,
so
I was under the impression McConaughey was like the main character, so I was kind of let down by that.
There isn't really a main character in the movie.
Yeah, but no, there were more central. I thought Kanye would be more.
Yeah, no, and yeah, they're definitely more central. But oddly enough, most of the people who went on to be relatively big or big out of that movie weren't the central characters.
Yeah.
And then the other people just sort of disappeared. Which someone did a piece on that recently. The Dissolve, I think, did a piece on that. All the people who could have been big and Dazed and Confused, which I found interesting. But yeah, I mean, there are 3 or 4 people I think who went on to have careers in that movie.
Yeah, Mia Djokovic,
Parker Posey,
and someone else that I can't think.
Yeah, I think
Anyways, pretty good film, but I think I'm pretty let down with the rest of Linklater's filmography. Anyways, so still excited for the premiere or when I finally get to watch Boyhood. Only $500 to fly to New York, so.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, if you think of it that way, come on.
Yeah.
Completely worth it.
I'm actually kind of surprised it's not opening in Chicago anywhere this week. Possibly go there sometime.
So did you guys hear the big news about the Venice Film Festival? Do you know what's opening there?
Birdman.
I'm excited. Birdman.
I'm flying out to Venice to see it.
With board passes.
All right. Yeah, I won't be flying out to Venice, unfortunately, but I am excited to see it soon and see how all the supposedly uninterrupted take. Is that a thing now? Is it actually one uninterrupted take? Because there seems to be some.
Well, it's basically pulling an irreversible. That movie looks like a take, but like just one take. But it's actually like say it's following a character, and then it like goes up. The camera goes up to a dark ceiling, and then it goes back down, and that's a different cut because it cuts goes up to the dark ceiling, so it's like black. So that's when they cut, but it looks like one camera movement.
So basically, the way Hitchcock did it in Rope, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And I mean, something like Birdman, like we said, those 2 films that we just named are like old at this point. So it's incredible.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, it is really impressive, and it sounds like it could definitely top. What's his name? Oh gosh, I just forgot his name. No, cinematographer.
Lubezki?
Yeah, Lubezki. He could definitely top the work he's done in the last couple of years and win another Oscar, maybe.
God. I don't know if he could top. I don't know, maybe.
It'll be tough to top Tree of Life.
Tree of Life, Children of Men,
yeah.
Gravity.
I think Tree of Life is some of the best cinematography of all time, so I don't know if we'll be able to beat that work.
Well, yeah. Terrence Malick, so I highly doubt you can beat it.
The tracking shot in Children of Men in the car is one of my favorite scenes from a movie ever, so that's...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's... that right there, even just that, it would be hard to top for me, but with the Tree of Life and so many other films, it's hard to say.
I think it's going to be certainly good, because anything Lubezki does is good. Great, for that matter, but to say it's going to beat his Oscar win from last year even, I'm not sure.
No,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's up next? What are we talking about?
We are discussing, well, if nobody has anything else they want to mention.
In terms of?
Just news or anything. Did anyone care or see the Emmy nominations this morning?
I did.
Not me.
Kind of mad about Parks and Rec, but it's understandable. You just have to treat the whole show as it's different. I don't know. It's too good for the Emmys.
I mean, there were a few things that I was obviously disappointed by. I was glad to see Orange is the New Black get so much love with actors and in series and everything else. So,
though, I really can't be too mad because Parks and Rec and The Big Bang Theory are the only shows I watch. So, I can't
The Big Bang Theory.
I really can't be mad about the other nominations because I'd probably love them too, but I don't watch them because I watch movies and I don't have enough time for TV and movies. So.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's a lot of people don't watch both. I watch a little bit of TV here and there, and based on what I saw, I'm very disappointed that House of Cards got any nominations whatsoever. But
yeah, it did.
I said I'm very disappointed that it did.
Oh,
because it's not worth nominating. I mean, yeah, the last season was.
Yeah, I heard it's disastrous.
It's a disaster. It really is.
Is anybody watching Dawn of the Planet of the Apes this weekend?
I will be seeing that. Maybe not this weekend, but probably sometime within the next week.
I will probably see it tonight.
Ooh.
Nice.
Premiere, hopefully.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm pretty excited for it, actually.
Yeah, same.
I haven't even seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, maybe you should see that.
Yeah, that's first. Well, the third act of that film was great. Everything else is good, just meh. But the third act is great.
Yeah. Okay, I'll probably watch it.
Though I wonder if you could get into Dawn of the Planet of the Apes without the world building of the first one.
I think I read somewhere that they stand alone pretty well, but I'm not sure. You guys will have to tell me if I end up not seeing the other one.
It's been forever since I've seen it, so I really don't know. So.
Yeah. I know nobody else, like none of the human characters from the film are in it.
Yeah. Anyway, so pretty excited about that. Greg was supposed to see it last night, but he couldn't.
Let's get into more stuff here with reviews. Harry, you also saw Snowpiercer, right? I saw it for the second time. And
how was that?
How was it the second time, or like as opposed to the first time? It went down slightly, I had to say, but I still like it a lot. Was it your first time watching it?
Yeah, I've only seen it once.
Okay, what did you think of it?
It's a very solid. It's very good at what it does because that's why everybody loves it. But I don't love it. Maybe it's because I've seen more of this man's films, but I mean it's very ambitious, and I really commend it for that, for being a very violent, nasty, very dour, but at the same time it has fun with itself. So I mean it's got issues, but I'll definitely give it recognition, at the end of the year.
Yeah.
For what it does.
Yeah, I agree. Initially, on the first viewing, I called it the best comic book movie of the last few years, and I think I still stand by that for capturing like the spirit of comic books and that sort of genre of film in a more interesting way than anyone's done recently. Marvel or even Nolan with The Dark Knight Rises or anything.
I disagree. I like The Dark Knight Rises more, but that's like a whole different argument.
Right, yeah, but, no, I'm not going to get into The Dark Knight Rises. I
don't want to get into that right now either.
Yeah, no, all I'm trying to say is that I just, like you said, I think I just watched a few more of Bong Joon-ho's films as well. I just watched one, and I've seen The Host a while back.
Have you seen Mother?
I haven't seen Mother yet. I saw Memories of Murder this week.
I need to see that one.
Okay, you haven't seen it yet? It's pretty good. It's probably his best that I've seen.
You gotta see Mother.
Yeah, I really want to see it. But anyways, I've grown accustomed to the way the tone shifts in his films, so it shifts from humor to bleakness, but it never feels jarring. It's very much like, a real life shift in tone, which I think is one thing I found fascinating about his films. Whereas I've had experiences with I know a lot of people complain about tonal shifts in South Korean films, especially, but I find the ones in his films to work. Whereas in Old Boy, for example, it's kind of jarring and random. But yeah, I agree. It's a hugely ambitious film. It doesn't entirely work. The whole first act is a little bit.
The first act is very cliche and it lost me. But once they actually start with the action and everything, that's when I was really into the film.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's way too heavy on exposition too. I don't know why that is, but I didn't notice that in any of his other films. So,
yeah, it's because it's a Hollywood blockbuster made by an Asian. That's basically what it is. So,
yeah, I think that is possibly what it is. That there's some sort of language barrier there, and it sort of feels he may have felt the need to over-explain to get his points across, but I don't know. Yeah, I had to say the first act doesn't work for me at all. But like you said, once the action picks up and things get going, it gets much better. I like how violence actually does have a cost in the film.
Violence? Oh yeah,
like,
very
as
nasty.
opposed to it's brutal, but it also you grow to care about these characters even though you don't even get to know them that well. And that's kind of a testament to each performance. I think most of the performances here work so well for what they are. Chris Evans.
Chris Evans gives his best performance.
Yeah, definitely. Tilda Swinton is fantastic.
Oh, she's fun.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
I also love the film. Just it doesn't really give a shit about any of the characters. Like they can die off at any moment, and it's not even given up any real attention to. And it just feels so offbeat for a Hollywood blockbuster because that's essentially what it is, but it plays off as much more than such.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I get that. Yeah. The only other, let me think. I'm trying to think of any other major issues I had. Well, the ending. I thought Ed Harris was really brutally miscast in that role.
Oh yeah, it was basically a Truman Show performance. It's weird. Well, have you seen Truman Show?
I have seen the Truman Show, and I love the Truman Show, but I love it. Yeah. But yeah, it's now that you mention that, it is pretty similar to work to what he does there, but I think it's a really tough role to pull off because the way the role is written itself doesn't entirely work. And it's I mean, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to avoid spoilers here.
Spoilers, yeah. You can't talk about the third act without spoiling it. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, it's hard to discuss without getting too far into.
I mean, maybe with Sean's permission, we could. I mean, what I thought would be an interesting idea is rather than doing a podcast like this, perhaps take like a popular film. Say we're gonna all of us watch Interstellar, all of us watch Boyhood, and we spend a podcast talking about it, and then we go into spoiler territory for like 30 minutes.
I agree. I think getting into a more in-depth discussion about this might be interesting, but maybe not. Not yet, not here. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely like to do that. So maybe I'd love to talk more about that.
Interstellar, first one, how about that? Or Boyhood, eventually. I don't know.
Yeah, eventually Boyhood would be interesting to discuss, but I'm not sure how much you could spoil there.
Oh,
yeah, it's
spoils?
not a movie
Okay.
to spoil, but I mean,
Yeah.
you could spoil the feeling it gives you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like you could just say, "Oh, this part's gonna make you cry." Yeah, that's a spoiler.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to go more in depth with this, but yeah, for now it's a good film. I'm disappointed that it's not going to get much of a release, and the way Harvey Weinstein is treating it is pretty awful.
I mean, here in Austin, the movie's getting so much advertisement. It's getting shown in all the Alamos practically. I mean, I imagine it's popular here.
Yeah, I think it's popular within the art house crowds, and Austin is one of those places where it'll probably do pretty well. But I mean, I know here, where I live in Birmingham, it's not. It's just dropped into release without any advertising or anything, and that it's only been. I mean, it's the scope of a blockbuster, but it's only been released in 200 theaters so far, or 250 theaters.
I mean, it's not even the scope of a blockbuster. The whole thing takes place in a train.
Yeah, I guess not, but it's I mean, it's an action film, and it's something people would watch. Yeah, I mean, it has the guy who plays Captain America in it. It's not like this is a difficult film to market to people. It's just frustrating that they've kind of dumped it in theaters. Okay, so
first I need to do a little small rant. Okay.
About what?
Let's see. I just heard about this movie, and I think it's completely idiotic. There's this movie called Ambiencé. I don't know if you guys heard about it.
I'm Beyonce?
Yeah. Ambiance.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the accent ague. It's 720 hours long. Hours, not minutes.
Hours?
Hours.
Oh, I think I am Beyonce.
No, Ambiencé.
I'll be on ambient. There.
Well, it has an accent. It has a
I know.
accent.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, in French it's special.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Okay.
It's 720 hours long.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They released the teaser today, which is 72 minutes.
I skimmed the teaser.
What? A teaser?
The first short trailer will premiere in 2016 and will be 7 hours and 20 minutes long.
Oh my god.
And the longest trailer will premiere in 2018 at 72 hours long. The trailer.
The trailer at 72 hours.
It will break it will almost break the record of the longest film ever. The film is 3 times longer than the longest film ever made already. I have no idea what the heck he could possibly do with 720 hours.
Hey, there's a lot of stuff you could do with 720 hours.
Who would watch it?
A lot.
And here's the thing. I don't know how long this is going to take him to make, let alone, it probably will take a year to render.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. There's no storyline or anything. I mean, I guess
it's a story about childhood,
something, but it's gonna premiere for one time and then it's gonna be destroyed.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, and it's gonna be his last film this guy ever makes. Anders Weberg.
He's made like 300 films too.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I don't
sad.
get it. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Let's see. Okay, 720 hours. 2 hours, an average movie takes up 8 gigs. That's 500. That's like almost 6,000 gigabytes. That's a lot of hard drives.
That sounds like that.
Yeah.
That's like 6 hard drives that he's gonna have to use, or a huge mega drive. Or do it on film. He should do it on film. He should do it in celluloid. That'd be fun. But I don't know. It just kind of pissing me off. I don't know why this guy thinks that this is going to be anything of a good idea. Anyways, so yeah, I just found out about that. Wanted
Oh, I've been knowing about it for like 2 days now. All right,
so,
are we gonna
should we
finish
move on
it?
to a much better topic about our keynote?
Our movie of the week, yes.
All right. Yeah, you guys talk about the movie of the week because I didn't see it. I haven't seen it yet, so I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Okay. Well, A Matter of Life and Death, which also operated as my introduction to Powell and Pressburger.
Ooh,
So,
yay.
yeah.
That's a monumental, not monumental, but that's a good memento.
Yeah. So, and I have to say, I liked it a lot. And Sean, you liked it a lot too, right?
Yes, I did
Okay.
like it. Red Shoes is better. That was my first one, but I think, I don't know. I've heard that your first Powell and Pressburger is always your favorite.
Well, then Red Shoes is my favorite.
There's something so unique about their films that there's something nostalgic about it. They're all very good, but the first one is something you'll remember. Red Shoes is something I'm going to definitely remember. But this is
Red
very
Shoes,
good.
man.
Close second for me.
The Red Shoes sounds really interesting. I have to get to that soon. Yeah. I'd say as far as this movie went, the opening scene was honestly like one of the best scenes in film I've ever seen.
Oh, you want to see it so bad now.
Are you talking about the moving across the galaxy, or?
No, well, I mean that was good too, but I meant the opening scene with Niven and Kim Hunter over the radio.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Pretty good scene.
Just their banter immediately, sort of taking off, and the way the situation was presented was so, everything was moving really fast, but we're introduced immediately to these characters, and within the first 5 minutes we have had sufficient development of their relationship, and they barely know each other and we barely know them, but it's enough.
You know who, Niven, you reminded me a little bit of Hugh Grant. I don't know if you got any of that in there, but I see a lot of Hugh Grant taking from this film. His character, at least his acting style seems very similar to Niven's, but it's a small side note. Just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but hey, it's a slightly, the whole movie takes place in this sort of slightly heightened reality. Like it seems realistic, but there's obviously fantastical parts of it. I mean, the whole premise is, in the hands of another filmmaker, this is the tagline for a really generic and silly romantic comedy. But
so, is it pretty to look at?
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, great. Because I thought Red Shoes was gorgeous, and I'm just like, can it top Red Shoes?
No, it can't top Red Shoes in the looks department. Red Shoes is one of the most delicious films of all time. So it's really hard to beat, but this one has a different layer to it. It uses its aesthetics to a different effect than Red Shoes does.
Yeah.
I think it was Ryan that mentioned in his review that the Wizard of Oz used Technicolor to make the other world look better, and black and white to make the reality seem dull. They flip it around, where the other world where you go when you die, they make a point that it's not heaven, it's just another place that you go. That's in black and white, and reality is the one that looks beautiful and stunning and something that you need to live for, whereas it's more dull, yet it's it still has a great flair to it in the other world, but they make a very good point about living in color.
Yeah. And I mean, let's face it, everything looks better in Technicolor.
Yeah. And they even have a character that refers to that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, but other than that, performance is all really excellent, especially David Niven.
Niven's really good, but I really started growing on the guy that, I forgot the French guy, the actor. But really love...
The Frenchman?
Yeah.
Let me think. Oh boy.
Either way, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
He was really good, but you mentioned the opening being one of the best scenes that you've seen. I thought their way of freezing the frame or the scene and then having Niven move around, absolutely genius.
Yes, yeah.
I have no idea exactly how they did it.
Yeah, I mean there are so many. Yeah, with the camera, there's so many great tricks, cinematic tricks here. There are some things like back in 1946. Yeah, I definitely didn't know how they pulled off what they pulled off, and
like the stair scene.
Yes, that was the one that really impressed me.
Oh, yeah. You guys are just making me want to go out and see this movie.
You have to.
I know, I will.
Everyone needs to. I think.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese had like a list of 85 films that you need to see that know anything about movies. This was on there. Pretty much, essentially, if you haven't seen a Powell and Pressburger film, you don't know anything about it. They're really great.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try to watch the rest of their filmography before summer's end. Very good.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and see more of their films in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'm seeing Black Narcissus and definitely Matter of Life and Death because I recently I bought Red Shoes at a Blu-ray Criterion over at Barnes and Nobles, and I love that film, and I've seen it twice with the span of 2 days. Well, the span of 1 day actually. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was dead after I saw that film.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go out and buy the Criterion for
just do it
soon. Yeah.
Just do it. It's worth it. Even if you don't like the film, it's worth just
looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, just looking at it.
All right. Sean, in one of your pieces, you mentioned how the film is actually sort of propaganda.
Yeah, I actually got that idea more from David's piece that he wrote about A Matter of Powell and Pressburger. He talked about how they were masters of propaganda, and I started thinking about how he was talking about how well they've made propaganda and how good their films are, yet as film critics we're typically taught to despise or at least point out that propaganda is bad. So I started looking at exactly why we look at propaganda as bad. And I found that there's an inconsistency. Propaganda we perceive as bad when it's made solely for the purpose to change our mind about something or follow the director without, where we can feel them pushing us over the edge like we can with Lone Survivor or the Birth of a Nation, which I haven't seen, but I've heard many things that it's just pure propaganda. I pointed out in my piece that I never really felt that this was any propagandic. You could feel it because I heard about it being propaganda, but their main purpose is not to make any political statements or anything. It's about life in general. It's not to get us a rally cry to fight for a nation, rather just to live for humanity. So if propaganda is the side note, it's just there. There's nothing wrong with praising your nation or getting someone ready to go, but when that's your main focus, as it has been in, like, as I said, Lone Survivor, when you're just making a film just because you know someone's gonna like it because it's representing their nation in a heroic event, that's when it's bad. But,
yeah.
And it's also, with this film, it's almost 80 years old. Whatever they're trying to tell us politically at all, we don't really care. It doesn't have any effect on us anymore. And we're not across the pond. So even if it's British, which it is, I should say.
It's definitely British.
Yeah, it's definitely British, but any foreign film that's propaganda, Americans aren't really going to say it's bad because it doesn't affect us. It's not propaganda to us, just the nation that it came from. So on a worldly basis, it's a little bit harder to judge, but even people in Britain loved it, and they still do. So they really did master the way of propaganda as how they don't make it their own an overt action, just a subtle side note.
Well, one thing for sure, it's a movie.
Yes,
so that's that.
True. Yeah,
definitely a movie.
It is a movie. Yes.
That's an inside joke for people who don't know. Some people will know.
Some people will know. Very few. But yeah, probably most of our listeners will know. Anyways, anyone else have anything they want to mention before we move on? Oh, I guess I should mention next week's movie.
Yay.
It's Brand Upon the Brain.
Can that be found?
It can be found.
Ooh, because I've been looking for that and I can't find it at all.
Well, first of all, for those who don't know, it's available on Criterion. It's not on Blu-ray though, just on DVD. It should be available on Blu-ray because, I think it should be, but because I'm not paying $25 for a DVD anymore. But yeah, I mean, it follows a young guy, Madden, who self-titled after the filmmaker. Who lives on an island with his older sister and a bunch of orphans, and his controlling, manipulative mother, and his father, who is an inventor and slaves away all day, basically. But it's it's a very interesting film that sort of captures the.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about it. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, it's a great film. I just watched it the other day. It is a movie. Yes, it's a movie. I'm interested to see what some people won't take to Madden's style, because it's the way he edits his films is pretty there's constant cuts, and it's narrowed camera view. It's interesting. I'm not sure everyone will immediately take to his style, but I think the film sort of, in a weird way, captures the very best and the absolute worst of what childhood can be, and the way it can affect us in our later lives. And so yeah, I think it's a very interesting film, and I think I'm really glad we're highlighting this, because it hasn't been seen by many people at all.
I understand, but you have this too. You're not done. There's a basket back there that you need to get on. So, do you eat dinner? Okay. So, I need to get on it. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys finish off. I have to drop out for the ending.
Okay.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. We had difficulty recording, so that's all right.
All right. Well, I'm signing off. You guys have fun with the game. I missed the game. All right. I'll see you guys
Enjoy
later.
your dinner. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, now we can talk about Harry Behind His Back.
Yay! Just what I've been waiting for.
Yes. Okay. So, that is our movie of the week coming up.
Yeah, and Do we have anything else to do before we sign off?
We don't want to play the game.
I don't know if it'll work so much now.
It really won't work now. Unless one of the viewers wants to hop in with me. Anyone?
Yeah.
Any listeners? No one?
I mean, I can do it if it's necessary, but
no, it's not.
Okay.
It's not the same.
I'll save the quotes for another week.
Yes, we'll save time that way.
All right. Well
so
then, that's it.
All you listeners can come back and we'll give you $5.
No, we won't.
Harry
That's
will.
not true. Yes,
Harry will.
Okay.
Yeah. So come back. Harry will give you $5. It'll come in the mail. And even though we don't know your addresses, leave it.
We do know your addresses.
We'll check all your IP addresses from YouTube.
Yep.
Everyone that watched it, and then we'll send it there.
Or you could just send us all your information. You could send us your social security number if you feel like it. Yeah, if you feel like it.
It will deeply help the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget those driver's licenses.
And visas. Visas will work too. And
Passports, visas. This is all very important stuff.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening and all your future contributions to us. So, signing off. We'll talk later.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.